Hello and welcome to our wall stretch episode. So you will need clear space at a wall, and I recommend having your mat doubled for doing an intense thigh stretch against the wall called King Runner. Now the King Runner is not for everyone, so you're welcome to go back to some of the other thigh stretches we've learned in other episodes. However, the other stretches should be simple enough, and we'll begin facing the wall about arm's distance. So you can reach out. If you can't quite touch with both arms, you can lean and touch with one. That's the perfect distance. Open your toes, stand tall and breathe deep, and go ahead and take the arms up. Take a moment to just draw into your core, set the shoulders a bit, take a deep breath, and then bring the hands to the wall and have the hands pretty high and press the hips back and lean in. Now, if you're tight and it doesn't feel good, you can try your hands wider and even a little bit of an arm bend. But if you're able to have the hands high, the hands shoulder width, and the arms fairly lengthened, then do that and lean in accordingly. You should be able to breathe deep and feel like it's the perfect amount of challenge, not too much. And this is called the wall hang stretch. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and release from that. And we're going to turn and have our back against the wall now and lean the neck against the wall. Step out. Tuck the shoulders back and try and really expand here. This is kind of like doing bridge, but the legs have a different dynamic. And you're standing. This is a nice thing to do wherever there's a wall and you need to do a reverse stretch to undo rounded shoulders and slouched posture. Keep expanding the chest and breathing deep into that part of the body, and take 2 more rounds. Very good. Go ahead and release and step back, and now turn to face the wall again about arm's distance. And we'll bring the arms up and take another wall hang stretch. Remember your different options, wider arms if you need. Occasionally you'd look up, make sure the hands are even. When one shoulder's uneven, that hand tends to slip down a bit. And now we're going to lift up, lower the hands just a bit, step the left heel back slightly, bring the right toes to the wall and stretch the toes. And now bend the knee toward the wall and push back through the back heel to stretch the calf and the hip flexors. And this is a very good adaptation to runner. If runner doesn't feel good for you, if it's too much of a hip flexor stretch or knees on the ground is hard, and this is a great adaptation. And you focus on lifting the chest as well. Very good. Let's go ahead and switch sides. Take your time. Glide that foot back. Tuck the other toes against the wall. If the toes hurt, you don't have to do that. Otherwise, it's nice to stretch the feet as well as the calf of the back leg as you press deep into that heel and the hip flexor. Lift the chest and have a nice, soft, steady gaze. Very good. Release from that stretch. Plant the left hand on the wall. Let's take a big palm tree stretch, supporting with the wall. Maybe bending the elbow helps you, or maybe pressing away. Experiment and find your best stretch, the stretch that's working for your body. Keep the core in and the glutes down. and release that. And let's go ahead and switch the sides. Palm tree stretch, wall supported, play with the options, find what helps you to go deep, and breathe even deeper. Nicely done. Let's go ahead and release that. And now for our grand crescendo, the king runner stretch. Now, as I said, this is very intense, so feel free to stop here or lay face down and do a half frog to release the thigh. Otherwise, standing just about at the front of the half mat, bend down carefully, place the foot almost as high as your glute, and then lower that leg down and move the knee back as much as you can. If you're really tight in the thigh, you can't move it back as much. Stretching the toes, having them tucked under is more intense, but pointing them is more reasonable. It's pretty intense even when you do have the foot pointed, so enjoy the king runner if you feel up for it. Keep lifting the chest. Maybe crawl that front foot a little more forward as needed. And let the hips gradually ease into it like you're easing into a very hot bath. Being careful, but enjoying relaxing tension stored deep within. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and come back to a bit of a forward bend, coming up onto the fingertips, maybe bending the knees. A wider stance makes an easier forward bend. When you're ready, you bend the back leg and cinch it into the wall. And again, it doesn't have to be all the way against the wall, but eventually that will be your deepest stretch. With the toes tucked is very deep. I recommend pointing the toes. Watch out for chipping the paint off your wall. Work on lifting the chest. Remember, the knee doesn't go beyond the ankle in any forms of the lunges, including the king runner, but we do work on breathing and lengthening the spine. Notice how you feel. My legs are feeling pretty even today. Sometimes I'm way off, and so I try and stretch a little extra on that tight side. So you're welcome to do that as well. You might habitually have a tight side, and it might change from day to day. So just be present, be aware, stay with the breath. Very good. Let's go ahead and carefully uncinch the knee. Come into a forward bend. Use your fingertips to support. Knees a little bent, and then bend them even more. And we'll stand on up. And look forward to the next episode. This has been our wall sequence.